As the sun sets over the Shadlands, our adventurers, weary from their travels, begin to search for a place to make camp. With their scarce rations and growing appetites, now is a good time as ever for a hearty feed. But can our adventurers, with a bit of scavenging, turn these common medieval rations into a gourmet feast?
Shadowversity.
Greetings, I am Tyrant, and today we have something very special in store.
And greetings, I am Nate, because we are going to be cooking for your adventuring party. Be it we forage around, we find some materials locally, or stuff you've picked up at the local tavern.
So let's get started.
Hey guys, sorry that took so long, but just up the hill there's a good spot to... Guys?
All right.
Time to make camp, I think.
reckon so. This area looks good. We've got bramble bushes over there. I can probably find some berries. That's game.
Yeah.
I reckon you can go hunt that. We also need to make a fire.
This is
That
a good
zone
area.
over there, yeah.
All right,
I reckon this
protein,
is it. There,
veggies,
there,
maybe some salt, pepper.
yeah, and plenty of firewood.
Yes, we've got plenty of firewood.
This is good.
Let's make our camp.
No, that's too much, too big. Chuck it down. Dear God, man. So this I picked up at the local market. It's going to make things a bit easier, but I reckon we got ourselves a nice fire, even if we couldn't find good seats.
Now, in fantasy and in even history, we do have things like iron pans, stuff like that. This is the closest we could find on such short notice, so
Ignore the steel at the
it's gonna
back.
have to do. But in the case that you don't actually have one, we can also try, of course, a simple rock.
Just do be careful, especially if you do this in real life, not to find volcanic rocks. They tend to explode when they heat up.
Now, this is bluestone, so it should be fine.
Actually lucky, I've got a few things that we picked up from town, but I wouldn't have been able to do it if we didn't have like an adventurous sponsor, which was a thing historically. And we also found a really nice, secluded place. I don't think anybody will find us here because it's not our usual spot.
We're nice and safe here, but we're also being sponsored to be out here by Surfshark VPN.
There are so many threats online and they're only getting worse. Surfshark's virtual private network adds a necessary layer of security. For instance, have you ever connected to a public Wi-Fi? Have you ever sent or received files online? Do you use online banking? Do you access foreign websites or streaming content? By masking your IP address, a virtual private network adds such an important layer of security for every one of those actions. It's through your IP address that nefarious people and viruses are able to track your location. If you want proper privacy and security, a VPN like Surfshark is brilliant. Remember though, a VPN is not virus protection, but it is more like privacy protection. And it's through getting access to your data that some of the worst things can happen online. Here at Shadowversity, we have many important accounts on many websites like YouTube that if someone was able to get private information regarding those things, it could ruin our livelihood and business. There are so many threats online, VPN adds another layer of security. I highly recommend it, and Surfshark is brilliant and it has this awesome deal for you. All you need to do is go to surfshark.deals/Shadowversity and enter promo code Shadowversity for an extra 3 months free. There is a link in the description. If you don't have a VPN, I highly recommend it for that added security and the benefits associated. And Surfshark is one of the best. Remember, promo code Shadowversity for an extra 3 months, and thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video.
We need a little bit of meat to do some adventuring cooking. So how about you go and hunt that, and I'll go and collect the last few little bits of forage there and show you don't really need a recipe to do adventuring cooking. You just need some basic equipment and you're good to go.
And then we are going to start to cook.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait, I'm so hungry. Fresh droppings. Yeah. About 10 minutes ago.
Oi!
Sorry. So of course we've got the important things such as the meat, manly stuff.
Manly stuff, but we do also need a little bit of sustenance in other ways, like, you know, a little bit of fiber, some root vegetables if we can find them, maybe some berries, maybe some dates, maybe some mushrooms. In fact, I saw some dates over there that I'll get you to get. Here, catch.
Right,
And I'll get the berries from over there. I think I saw blackberries, I'll check.
Dates, right. So, mid-20s, currently single, you know, hit me up. Right, dates.
Berries, thorns. Ah, jeez. Aha! Got him!
So we've spoken about things like the fruit and the veg and all that sort of stuff, but the meat is where we really want to, you know, that's what we want to see. So here we have some local game and some pork, and we have a whole big bunch of salt. Now, why do we have salt? Well, first off, it makes your meat a little bit tastier, but back in the day, you didn't have things like refrigerators, so how would you preserve meat? Well, salting meat was a very, very common way of preserving meat. Salted pork was considered to be, well, the one that tasted the least bad out of all of them. So here we're going to salt some pork. First off, we'll salt a few pieces just like you normally would, but then we'll lather some in salt, as if it was salted pork. Then this one here is our local gamey meat. We're going to be cutting this up into smaller portions, then we'll use things like salt and pepper to season, and of course we'll add in some things like fats and lards. These are all available as a medieval adventurer. So we have plenty of options for making our food taste, I think, pretty good. But let's get started. We'll start cutting up all our meat and portioning it out, and we'll try some of our salted meats and some of our regular seasoned meats.
Something that a lot of people don't consider when they're going adventuring is seating. Having somewhere to sit just makes everything easier. Trying to cut, trying to prep, trying to start a fire without a seat.
Have we got any greens with this?
So I spent about an hour chopping that up. Look how fine that is.
Yeah.
It's not store-bought at all.
Well, I like garlic. Do you like garlic?
I love garlic.
Well, let's put some garlic in. Where's the spoon?
Ooh, yeah.
We also have a bit of our salt, because salt is good,
And
in moderation, of course.
I found a couple of pieces of rosemary, which is over there, so throw that in.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
See, just because you're out in the bush and doing these sorts of things doesn't mean you can't live.
Live a little.
Yeah, live a little.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of ginger as well, should add a bit of flavour.
We got some pepper here as well.
Oh yeah, nice.
Pepper always brightens your day.
You know, it's funny, a lot of people consider medieval food to be really bland, but I can tell you from experience, it's not. There is so much flavour.
Now what we're doing might not be some exact medieval recipe, but what we're using is all from these sorts of periods.
Yep, it should be noted, there is a little bit of change. Carrots didn't look exactly like that, the radishes didn't look exactly like that, but there were carrots and radishes, ginger, salt, pepper.
It is something to note as well that people's palates have changed over time. To us, this is quite scrumptious, and I'm sure even to them it would have been. But just because we're not making some historically accurate recipe doesn't mean it wouldn't be a perfectly feasible adventurer meal or fantasy meal. Because this, to me...
And you've always got like a little sneaky person in your adventuring party, you pass me the bowl, who might just randomly hop into a farm, steal a carrot and just go.
Obviously, because we are here and you're there, you can't actually smell how good this is, but I can assure you right now, I'm getting very excited about eating.
And something else as well, with an adventuring party, a lot of people stop for the night, camp, have something to eat and go, taking their 8 hours for their wizard to have a rest, not realising that spend a couple of extra hours and it'll either make your story or really impress your DM, and they may give you a few extra experience points just to really live it, because a bit of preparation goes a long way.
Now, not only in a fantasy setting, but even if you're, well, not exactly camping, but if you're out on the road, you would stop around this time. It takes time to set things up, it takes time to cook. You don't want to be doing this when it's already getting dark. You want to be well prepared before the sun has gone down.
Exactly. And when you're cooking, you want a nice bed of hot coals, which means when it gets darker later, that's really easy to start a nice roaring fire to keep warm. We're in Australia, so we don't have any dangerous creatures here at all. We have no natural predators. We've got to worry about it's completely safe to just camp out here. But in all seriousness, that is something you have to take into consideration. A lot of creatures will stay away from fire and smoke. It's a natural thing. But there are certain creatures. Wolves will come to the smell of food. Bears will definitely come to the smell of food. And if you have intelligent creatures like dragons, maybe even wyverns, they'll know there's adventuring parties. So maybe you have to be a little stealthy when you're doing stuff like this.
Something also to mention is, well, cold-blooded creatures are a little bit different. At night time, they might like the warmth of the fire and start crawling around.
Yeah, the warmth of the bedroll.
Our really big spiders really enjoy coming by the fire at night time, don't they?
They do, and snakes crawling into your bedrolls, not good, not good.
So as you can see, we have an assortment of cheeses here and our dates and our berries, of course while the meat's cooking.
Why are you halfway up the hill for crying out? Ooh, biscuit.
It's quite good, and as a treat, I can't recommend it enough. The oldest of all things.
Wow.
Is it the oldest of all things?
No.
I don't think it is.
Close enough.
But bread. Everybody should know how to make bread. It's very easy to make bread as well.
Basically 2 ingredients, but we are going to add a couple of other things just for a little bit of flavour.
A bit of flavour, not for anything else. Really.
No, but there are just 2 ingredients, one of which, flour, or grain, really fine grain.
So basically you get your grain, you crush it up, and you get
Grain.
flour for the most part.
And,
What's our second ingredient?
you know,
Water.
and when you're doing this, you're looking for a nice consistency that starts to pull together in those doughy balls you see bakers do. So we're kind of pretty close to this now.
And you might need to add a little bit more water to get the consistency you want.
Yeah, or a little bit more flour, but it is a lot more flour than water by volume. Now, once it's at a good doughy consistency, we can add a few things for flavour, like a little bit of garlic, a little bit of salt.
Salt.
Do the thing.
It always comes back to salt.
Got to do the thing, do the bay. There we go, there we go. You're missing it! Oh my God. Dinner time.
Oh, it's finally done. We get to eat.
That is something. It takes a little longer to do adventure cooking than it does to do cooking at home, but it's kind of worth it because look at that view.
Sun's getting real low, big guy.
Yeah. Just call me fat.
No, not really.
Okay.
I think it's time we turn in for the night. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I may have spent all of our funds on spices and didn't get tents. We got nice food though, eh?
Yes, we got nice food. So what are we going to do exactly?
I'm sure we can use a cloak or something for a tent. Actually,
I seen a video on this.
yeah.
On Shadowversity.
Yeah, Kramer, one of our co-hosts, has made it. So you can check that out straight away, straight after this one. We'll put the link in the description. But until next time, farewell.
And so, with their bellies full and spirits lifted, our adventurers shall rest for a time until adventure calls to them again.
Hello? At least I've got all my survival equipment.